Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Gonna be giving you my predictions for our game against Fulham tomorrow night at Craven Cottage. So, I'll give you my score prediction. I'm gonna go with 3-0 to Manchester United. I think the goals, Marcus Rashford, I think he'll score 2. And I think Edison Cavani will score. I've already given you my starting 11 prediction for the game. Like I mentioned, I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's going to make some changes from the 0-0 draw with Liverpool, and I think he could rest some key players. Now, like I've said to you, Bruno Fernandes, Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw are all one booking away from suspension. Don't forget, in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference, he obviously mentioned Bruno Fernandes. He's defended Bruno Fernandes and he denies that he needs a rest. He mentioned that Bruno Fernandes is in good form. Obviously, he was voted Player of the Month for December, but he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Fernandes has been at the football club now for almost a year. But yeah, he certainly has made the difference in the team. He predominantly plays in that number 10. But in most of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent. There's only been the odd few where he has been inconsistent. Amad Diallo Traore was also mentioned. Solskjaer said Amad Diallo Traore could be part of the first team squad in the next few weeks, which is good news. Got Amad Diallo Traore in a deal worth £37 million, with add-ons included, and we paid £19 million up front. Obviously, give us the team news, didn't he? He said they've all trained on the pitch, apart from Brandon Williams and Phil Jones. They are both out. But yeah, we should be beating Fulham. Fulham, though, have improved since they had that 1-1 draw with Liverpool back in early December. I think they've only lost 1 in their last 7, but despite that, they are still sitting 18th in the Premier League, so they are relegation fodder. Solskjaer did praise Fulham in his press conference. He said Fulham are well structured. He said, they've got a good head coach in Scott Parker. They have made good signings. So, Scott Parker has been Fulham manager now for around 20 months. And they have got some good players in their team, like I've already gone through with you. Lookman, he's one of their key players. I think they brought Lookman in last year. They've got that Kamara, who's one of their key players. They've got that Mitrovic. He's one of their key players. He's been out of injury, but I think he should be in contention to play in this game tomorrow night. They've got Mario Lemina, he's injured. They've got Congolo, he's injured. I think they also brought him in last year. They've got Ruben Loftus-Cheek. They got him on loan from Chelsea. Couldn't play against Chelsea recently because it's his parent club. They've got that Robinson, but he's suspended because he got sent off against Chelsea. They've got Bobby Reid, I think he mentioned he's also suspended. They've got Cavallero, he seems to be a good player. They've got that Anderson, I think they also brought him in last year. So they are a few of Fulham's players. Last time we played Fulham was almost 2 years ago, beating them 3-0 at Craven Cottage. That was actually back in February 2019. We played Fulham in the Cup a few years ago as well, quite a few years ago now, beating them 4-1, played them back in 2014, drew them 2-2. That was under the David Moyes era. I think that was the game when there was 81 crosses. Like I said, we're coming into this game on the back of a 0-0 draw with Liverpool. In the game against Liverpool, we didn't really show much attacking intent, but defensively we was very, very good. Luke Shaw did very, very well defensively, and he got forward well. Luke Shaw's really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. You know, I think Harry Maguire did well, apart from the mistake he made in the first half. That could have been costly. Lindelof made some very good clearances. I thought Wan-Bissaka did well. You know, David De Gea, he didn't really have much to do, but he produced a fantastic save to deny Thiago. So yeah, there was some good performers in that game against Liverpool. Paul Pogba was obviously playing in more of an advanced role. Don't forget he had that fantastic chance, but it produced a fantastic save from Alisson. You know, Bruno Fernandes had a fantastic chance. Alisson produced another good save. Fernandes weren't great against Liverpool, but he still did have his chances. He had that chance from the free kick. Like I said to you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer gave his perception on the game. He actually said he was disappointed, and he admitted with that's composure. It was a missed opportunity to go 6 points clear of Liverpool. If we'd have beaten Liverpool, we'd have been in more of a commanding position. But I think we'd have been happier with the draw than Liverpool. Because obviously, you know, Solskjaer made an admission regarding Liverpool prior to the game. You know, he said Liverpool have been the best team in England for the past 18 months. He said, you know, they've had 3 great years, and Anfield is a fortress in the Premier League. You know, Liverpool haven't lost at Anfield in the Premier League since April 2017. So they haven't beaten now 68 Premier League games at Anfield. But they are now winless in their last 4 Premier League games, and it's the first time since 2005 that Liverpool have failed to score in 3 straight league games. Like I said to you, Jurgen Klopp criticised Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tactics during the 0-0 draw. Obviously, Klopp didn't like the way Solskjaer set his team up. It was only a few weeks ago that Klopp was, you know, moaning about the amount of penalties that we get. You know, he says we get a penalty every 3 games. You know, Solskjaer actually hit back at Jurgen Klopp on that, and he said, you know, he must be influencing the referees. You know, we do play Liverpool at the weekend in the FA Cup 4th round at Old Trafford. It's going to be interesting to see how both teams approach that game. You know, are both teams going to go with strong lineups? Are they going to go with a weakened lineup, or are they going to go with a mixture? But I certainly think that we won't go with the same lineup as we did do against Liverpool recently, and Liverpool won't go with the same lineup. We're the second most successful team in FA Cup history because we've won 12 FA Cups. You know, I think Liverpool have won it quite a few times, but they haven't won it since 2006. We've been very, very good away from home in the Premier League, as you all know. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for a year now. We are unbeaten in our last 12 Premier League games. So I'm very, very confident going into this game against Fulham. Obviously, Leicester are now top of the Premier League. You know, any team could win the league. Who's obviously in this title race. You know, we could win it. Leicester could win it. Leicester have already won one. You know, Tottenham could win it. Liverpool could win it. And, you know, Man City could win it. But it is still too early to say. Even if there had been a winner at Anfield at the weekend, you know, that wasn't going to define who was going to win the title. But, you know, I certainly think, you know, we can win the Premier League. You know, if we do, it will be our first Premier League title since 2013, and it will be our 21st title overall. And if we do win the Premier League, then certainly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be the long-term manager for Man United. But he has made very, very good progress as Solskjaer, and you've got to say that he's bringing the old Man United back. You know, we have come from behind in a lot of games this season to win, especially away from home. I think, you know, the performances have improved. You know, certain players have improved. You know, Solskjaer's going to be given at least another season at Manchester United. And like I said to you recently, I think he's on course to earn himself a new contract. But we deserve credit for sticking with Solskjaer, like I've said on my recent videos, because he could have easily have been sacked, because he has been under pressure quite a few times as Man United manager. But Solskjaer deserves credit the way he's turned things around. Don't forget, he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on this season. You know, he did well last season in his first full season. You know, he got us to 3 semi-finals, got us qualification for the Champions League, and also got us third. You know, we have seen a lot of players depart the club since he got recommended in. You know, despite our reluctance to back Solskjaer with transfers and that, I still think he's made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the football club. You know, and this January transfer window is Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as Man United manager. And earlier on in this window, he gave us an update on our January transfer plans. And he said that January signings are unlikely. But he admits that there could be furthermore departures from Man United in this January transfer window. Like he mentioned on the press conference building up to the game against Fulham, he said there could be 1 or 2 more players leaving. So, yeah, we're focusing more on the outgoings in this window rather than the incomings. Obviously, you know, we'll be looking to make, you know, signings in the summer. I think we are looking to make around 4 signings to complete our squad overhaul. I think Solskjaer did say we do need more signings anyway if we are to be genuine title contenders. But yeah, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, he recently left the club to join Bayer Leverkusen. As you all know, Ole's already confirmed that Sergio Romero and Marcus Rojo are free to leave in this January window because he said their contracts won't be extended. Lingard now could be staying at Man United because Solskjaer's in disagreement over his future, and I think Solskjaer said he wants Lingard to stay this month. We need to get rid of Lingard because obviously he lost his place in the team a while ago. I'm expecting Ighalo to leave. Ighalo's loan expires at the end of this month. Don't forget there has been rumours of Daniel James going out on loan. There's also been rumours of Brandon Williams going out on loan because Brandon Williams is now our 3rd choice left back. And I'm expecting more players to leave Man United in the summer. But there's obviously a lot of players at Man United that we're going to keep as well. So let's just put that into the equation. By the way, Ed Woodward informed Solskjaer that we've got to be careful with our spending in the transfer market. But Woodward's come out, you know, several times to support Solskjaer, despite us having a poor start to the season, despite us getting knocked out of the Champions League. You know, Woodward's come out a few times to assure that Solskjaer's job is safe. And he promised that, you know, he will back him in this window. He did say towards the end of last year that we will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. But certainly now, you know, a lot of United fans are Ole in, reflecting how good we've been in recent months. But earlier on in the season, there was a lot of Man United fans demanding Ole out of the club, reflecting how inconsistent we was. But like I've said, some managers need time to get things right. You know, with Ole being a club legend, our board have a soft stance on him. You know, this is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 2nd full season at the club. And like I said, this season was always going to be a big season for him. Solskjaer's been Man United manager for over 2 years now. So reflecting now on he's been here, he has gained some managerial experience. Like I said, he's learned quite a bit on the job. There's still things he's got to learn though on the job, obviously. Maybe you've got to say he's got to identify his best 11. He's got to select the right formation. He's tried a few different formations as Solskjaer, since he got appointed in. Can Solskjaer emulate into a top level manager? Because let's be honest, he hasn't really got that proven pedigree as a manager. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Obviously, before he came to us, he was at Mulder. He won a few Norwegian titles at Mulder. They're not a big club though. And before he was at Mulder, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But like I said to you, there's 3 trophies that we can pursue this season. We can win the Premier League, we can win the FA Cup, and we can also win the Europa League. It's very imperative that we get our first trophy on the board under Ollie, because, we haven't won a trophy now for just over 4 years. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. And when we was inconsistent earlier on in the season, and if we'd have sacked Solskjaer because of that, it wouldn't have really solved anything. Because like I said, not all the blame stems from the manager. And we're not even really known as a sacking football club, despite the fact we've sacked 3 managers since Ferguson retired. We sacked Moyes after 10 months. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. I give you the reasons why it didn't work out under Jose Mourinho is because he had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, and the board weren't backing the signings, that he wanted to recommend in. And I did say Solskjaer's been facing the same problem as what Mourinho was facing regarding transfers and all of that. But I do believe we have made mistakes since Sir Alex Ferguson left, and that's one of the main reasons why, we have been inconsistent. We've overpaid for players in recent years. We've spent over £1 billion, since Sir Alex Ferguson left. We've brought around 37 players in since Ferguson left. Obviously under Moyes we brought Fellaini and Mata. Under Louis van Gaal era, we must have brought a good 15, 16 players in. We brought the likes of Schneidlin in, Sebastian Schweinsteiger, Di Maria, Falcao, Memphis Depay, Rojo, Darmian, Martial, Shaw, Herrera, Romero, Victor Valdez. So they're a lot of the players we brought in under Louis van Gaal. And Jose Mourinho, he recommended 11 players in to the football club. Yeah, like I've said, the vast majority of this team is Jose Mourinho's. The news on the transfers, don't you? Today, I give you the latest news on David Alaba from Bayern Munich. Now, it says that Man United are in talks over the David Alaba deal. And I think David Alaba's transfer to Man United is a possibility. I wouldn't say it's likely, though. It recently said that David Alaba has agreed to join Real Madrid this summer. And it mentions that he has agreed a 4-year contract. And Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he says that David Alaba will join Real Madrid. But David Alaba's father has denied it. He says, there's no agreement in place with Real Madrid. Reports from Germany have recently said that Man United and Chelsea have made good offers for David Alaba. And I think the Bayern Munich boss admits that he will be leaving. Man City are in for him. PSG are in for him. Liverpool are also in for him as well. You know, it did say towards the end of last year that we made a formal offer for the player. Alaba has been a long servant at Bayern Munich. He's been with them 13 years. I think he's made over 400 appearances in all competitions. And he's won around 20 major honours. Predominantly a left back and a centre half, but before he's been deployed as a central midfielder. He's played as a left winger and a right winger. He did have a loan spell with Hoffenheim. Before Bayern Munich, he was at Austria Vienna, and he is the age of 28, so he's highly experienced. You already know the news on Sergio Ramos. Today, I give you the news on Jadon Sancho. He says Man United are due to begin talks over a potential move for Sancho. Raphael Hoggenstein, who's a German football expert, said that Sancho's move to Man United in this January window is possible, but it is unlikely. He said talks could resume in spring. France Football via Sports Witness recently said that Borussia Dortmund are looking for replacements for Sancho, and it mentions that they have identified their replacement. But if he's to leave Dortmund, it will be in the summer. We believe we can get him for less than £100 million. Sancho made an admission not so long ago saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season with Dortmund, but he's happy to be back among the goals. Dayot Upamecano from RB Leipzig, he's still on our agenda. He's available for around £39 million at the end of the season, because that's when his release clause does become active. I still believe that Jack Grealish is on our agenda. You already know the news on Declan Rice. But actually, Gary Neville has said that we've got to strengthen up in like 3 areas if we are to be, you know, a top winning team. We've also got to start beating the big teams if we are to be genuine title contenders, because we haven't beaten many of the big teams yet so far this season. We can't beat the big teams under Solskjaer. That's been proven so far this season. But like I've said to you, you know, these very, very good players at Manchester United. You've got Rashford, that's good. You've got Fernandes, that's exceptional. You've got Cavani, that's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. You've got Greenwood, that's good, but hasn't played a lot this season. You've got Martial, that's good when he wants to be, but hasn't proven it a lot this season because he hasn't been clinical enough in front of goal. You've got Donny van de Beek, that's good when he wants to be. You know, Donny van de Beek seldom starts, though, in the Premier League. He's only started 2 league games for us, and that was against Southampton and West Ham. Most of his appearances have come from the bench. We need to play Donny van de Beek more. Now, I give you the news on him yesterday. Edwin van der Sar, the Ajax CEO, said that he spoke to people at Manchester United about Donny van de Beek, and he says Man United remain confident that Donny van de Beek will be a success at Old Trafford. And Van der Sar also mentioned that he's showing fantastic attitude in training. Solskjaer was talking about Van der Beek the other week, and he insists that he has a bright future at Man United. And he tips Van der Beek to emulate Fred and Lindelof by succeeding at the club. Solskjaer has been criticised by Van der Beek's agent for obviously leaving him on the bench. Don't forget Ronald de Boer urged Donny van de Beek to leave to boost his chances for the Euros. Van de Beek can play in like 3 different roles. You know, you can play him as a box-to-box, you can put him as a number 10, and you can also put him out wide. We got him in a deal worth £40 million, paid £35 million for him up front, and there was £5 million in add-ons. You've got Fred, you know, that's good. He's enjoyed good games this season. You've got Scott McTominay, that's good when he wants to be. McTominay's best game in a Man United shirt was a 6-2 win against Leeds because he scored twice in that game and he also got an assist. Did well in the Watford game as well, scored in that game. To Paul Pogba's credit, he has done very, very well since he come back from that ankle injury that he had earlier on in the season. Like I've gone through with you, Pogba could still leave Man United in the summer. Luke Shaw's really improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era, but my element of concern about him is that he's injury prone. Surprisingly still remains our first choice left back despite Telles coming in. Harry Maguire, I think he's really improved, but still wasn't worth the £80 million that we got him for. Eric Bailly's been in scintillating form since he started playing again. I think he's a much better centre-half than Lindelof, but my element of concern about Bailly is that he's too injury prone. And Wan-Bissaka's a good right back, but we've also got concerns about his lack of attacking intent and his distribution. You know, David De Gea, he's getting back to his best now. De Gea's going to remain our number 1 for at least this season. He's been a long servant at the club. This is his 10th season now at Man United, isn't it? But to be honest with you, I've been impressed with Dean Henderson when he's played as well. And I think at some point he'll become our number 1. So there you go. So I'll be back on with more videos tomorrow. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.